The Yonko commanders are often regarded as some of the most popular and powerful forces in One Piece, since they all serve under one of the four emperors. Across all 7 of the 4 emperors, each has 3 notable commanders, and I have, for some reason, taken up the task of ranking them all. Today we will be going over the commanders of the Whitebeard Pirates, the Bigmom Pirates, the Beast Pirates, the Straw Hat Pirates, and the Cross Guild. Unfortunately, I had to neglect doing the Red Hair Pirates and the Blackbeard Pirates since we only know who holds the position of first commander for both of them. For the Red Hair Pirates specifically, I think it's pretty obvious that Lucky Roo and Yasop are the second and third commanders, but they also haven't done much, so putting them on this list would be rather useless. I would also like to acknowledge that this list isn't based on anything but my own opinion, so I'm not saying anyone is stronger or more important than anyone else, and if anything I say upsets you, I don't care. With all that out of the way, let's get started. Coming in last place at number 16 is the third commander of the Beast Pirates, Jack the Drow. Jack is one of the biggest letdowns in all of One Piece. His introduction in the Zou arc was so damn cool, and then he just went absolutely nowhere. Jack pulled up the Zou and started wrecking shit, and then nothing came from it. Being the first character in the series sporting a bounty over 1 billion berries, Jack had to make a good first impression, and he sure did. However, everything after that is terrible. Not only did he get smacked by Ashura Doji, he went on to get roasted by his fellow commanders King and Queen to the point where basically he had to say, "My bad, big bro," and just take the L. And then the absolute worst thing to come from Jack is the fact that he was defeated in a fight so forgettable that I forgot to put it in my video ranking every Onigashima fight. One of the biggest frauds in One Piece, no competition. Number 15 is the third commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, Diamond Josu. I consider not even putting Josu on this list because who the hell actually cares about Diamond freaking Josu? Unfortunately, he does officially hold the title of third commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, so I have to spend time talking about him. Josu only shows up in Marineford and then never again, so yeah, he's going here. He would have been dead last if Jack didn't suck. Number 14 is the first commander of the Beast Pirates, King the Wildfire. This ranking could definitely be controversial, since King is one of the most popular characters to come out of Wano. I, however, do not like King at all, so before I slander him into oblivion, let me say a few good things about him. First of all, I think it's really cool that he introduces a new race, that being the Lunarians, and that the Lunarians' powers are basically pyrokinesis, which happens to be my favorite type of power in anime. Another cool thing that King does is knock Big Mom's ship off of the waterfall, because Wano does not need more characters than it already had. Now that I think about it, why were they all there if the plan was to never use them anyway? Questions for later. Now, this is where the King praise stops. King is an absolute fucking bum. I hate him. He's one of the most boring characters to come out of not only Wano, but all of One Piece. He just has zero appeal to me. King is entirely carried by his Lunarian lineage and his cool design. The dude doesn't even really start talking up until he's been unmasked, and even then, a majority of his dialogue is just gassing up Kaido, who doesn't even need to be gassed up anymore at that point. He also just gets 3-tapped by Zorro, which is great for Zorro, but he just folds immediately. Backtracking a little bit, King's entire existence is used to gas up other things in the story. Whoa, King is a completely new race, and then Queen immediately hints that Sanji could have Lunarian DNA. King almost having unparalleled durability is just used as a stepping stone for Zorro to tame Enma and finally awaken his Conqueror's Haki. Another thing, and probably the worst thing, is that King was hyped up as the last of his race just for the world government to turn around and make 4 more of him that are way cooler in the very next arc. Anyways, King is ass, but at least he does something which is saying more than Josu or Jack. Coming in at number 13, we have the unconfirmed third commander of the Cross Guild, Mr. 3. The only reason I'm talking about Mr. 3 is because I really want to talk about the other two commanders of the Cross Guild. Other than that, I have to say I don't really care about Mr. 3 that much, but my impression of him overall is a net positive, so that's why he's here in 13th instead of being lower. I do think it's pretty cool that Oda is still using a minor character from as far back as Little Garden, but other than that, I just don't have much to say about him. Number 12 is the third commander of the Big Mom Pirates, Charlotte Smoothie. Much like Mr. 3, I don't have too much to say about Smoothie, but my overall impression of her is a net positive. I like a lot of the Big Mom Pirates in general, so her being this low isn't really bad. For one, I loved her design. I mean, just look at her, she's hot. She's really cool. Her devil fruit is also one of the more terrifying if you really think about it. Imagine being juiced for all the liquid in your body by a 15-foot tall woman. Anyways, I think her design and powers are cool as hell, and hopefully the Big Mom Pirates get out of the mud soon so we can see her some more. At number 11, we have the third commander of the Straw Hat Pirates, Jimbei. Before anyone says anything, I do not care that Jimbei currently has a higher bounty than Sanji. He is third. Anyway, I think Jimbei has the most potential on this list to move up as time goes on. We already know that he's a good character and is completely loyal to Luffy and the crew, and sorry to go on a tangent here, but I think he was kind of wasted in Wano, well in Onigashima specifically. I think he deserved a better opponent than Who's Who, but since Who's Who is a walking exposition machine, Jimbei interacting with him was more important than anything else. I'm excited to see what Jimbei does in the future and how Oda continues to handle him. At number 10, we have the first division commander of the Whitebeard Pirates and the biggest bird himself, Marco the Phoenix. Right off the bat, I want to say that Marco has one of the coolest devil fruits in the series, and it's probably in my top 5. Besides that, I like what Marco does in Onigashima, from fighting Big Mom to briefly fighting King and Queen, and then my personal favorite moment from him in the raid, passing the metaphorical torch to Zorro and Sanji. Outside of the raid, so basically in Marineford, I really liked him there as well. His first clash with Kizaru is one of my favorite moments from the arc. I don't know, I just think Marco is really cool, and he serves his role well whenever he's on screen. Taking the number 9 spot, we have the King of the Desert, I'm pretty sure I just made that up, Crocodile, the second commander of Cross Guild. Crocodile is just so damn cold, bro, from his design to his powers, and the fact that not only is he strong but also incredibly smart makes him one of the best, if not the best, villain in One Piece. His performance in Alabasta was amazing. He felt like the first real threat to Luffy in One Piece and played his role very well as the villain. And don't even get me started on Marineford Croco. Bro was fighting Mihawk, Akainu, saved Ace once, saved Luffy and Jimbei. Bro was going absolutely crazy. And now he's in one of the highest positions in the pirate world. I can't wait to see what he does next. Next up at number 8 is the second commander of the Beast Pirates, Queen the Plague. I love Queen, bro. He's very easily my favorite lead performer and is so much better than King and Jack, it's not even funny. Queen has interesting lore being in Mads, a very entertaining personality, one of the best voices in the anime, and a very engaging fighting style, being a cyborg, brachiosaurus, and having Germa powers. He's so captivating and hilarious, and any time with him on panel or on screen is just a treat to experience. He also serves as a perfect foil to Sanji, giving him some of his greatest moments in the entire series. Overall, Queen is far better than those bums King and Jack. Number 7 is the first commander of the Cross Guild and the current world's greatest swordsman, Dracul Mihawk. Mihawk is an interesting character to say the very least. We haven't seen him do much, but we still just know he's that guy. Of course, Mihawk is not only one of the strongest characters in One Piece, but is also the goal for Zorro, so I don't think he's going anywhere for a while. Hopefully we get to see Mihawk in true action for the first time soon, so we can see what he's made of. I also think Mihawk is the only character in the series right now who knows how a black blade is made, and I hope we get that explanation sometime soon. Mihawk has a lot to be desired, and I feel like when we finally focus on him, it will be truly amazing. For the number 6 spot on this list, we revisit the Big Mom Pirates with their second commander, Charlotte Cracker. I absolutely love Cracker, and the main reason is that he is the first Yonko commander Luffy ever faces, and he plays that role perfectly. He feels like a big threat, but not enough of a threat where I have to worry about Luffy actually losing the fight. And him being able to stall Luffy and Nami for as long as he did is incredibly impressive. His Devil Fruit is very cool, and I think Cracker uses it very well. And outside of the story, I think it just has an amazing design. He is so cool. I can't help but feel like he's incredibly underrated by the community as well. Just like Smoothie, I hope the Bigmom Pirates get out of the mud soon so I can hopefully see him again. To start off the top 5, we have the 2nd Division Commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, the Donut Man himself, Porcus D. Ace. We all know and love Ace. Do I prefer Sabo? Yes, but Ace is still amazing. To get it out of the way, yes, a part of the reason I love Ace is because he's a pyrokinetic, and yes, the Marineford no Mi is my favorite Devil Fruit in One Piece. Besides his powers, Ace was the first non-Straw Hat character that made me cry when I was watching Marineford for the very first time. Ace also technically has my favorite backstory in the series, since my favorite is the shared ASL backstory between Ace, Sabo, and Luffy. Ace is such an easy character to get attached to, and even though I knew he was going to die in Marineford, that shit hit me like a damn truck. I was bawling. Everything with how Ace feels about Roger and how he tries to escape his father's name is so captivating. One thing that might be a negative, but it's kind of funny to me, is that I always forget that Ace is actually a conqueror, but he only ever used it once. Anyway, Ace is amazing, and I think he definitely deserves to be here. Taking up the number 4 spot, we have the 1st commander of the Straw Hat Pirates, Mr. Marimo himself, Roanoa Zorro. I don't think it's very hard to see why Zorro is this high. He is the 1st member of the Straw Hats and Luffy's clear right hand. He's also one of the, if not the most badass character in the series. I feel like while he has one of the more grounded and simple goals between the Straw Hats, it's also one of the best since you can really track his progress, and I think Zorro defeating Mihawk will be one of the most satisfying and hype moments in all of One Piece. As a commander, we haven't really seen Zorro do much since he just became one, but we all know what his capable is as far as what he's willing to do for the crew's sake. By the end of the series, Zorro might just be the greatest commander there ever was. Fittingly, at number 3, we have the 2nd commander of the Straw Hat Pirates, the former Prince of Germa, Vinsmoke Sanji. I'm going to be 100% truthful with you guys. Sanji is my favorite character in all of One Piece, and that is the only reason he is above Zorro. So am I biased? Yes. Anyways, as one of the original 5 Straw Hats, I think Sanji serves one of the most important roles as not only the cook, but as someone who can lead the crew when Luffy and or Zorro are absent. Sanji also just has one of the coolest fighting styles in anime, and it's definitely the most satisfying to watch. Also, Sanji is technically a pyrokinetic, so that boosts him up even more for me. Besides his combat, I think Sanji is one of the more slept on characters when it comes to his leadership abilities. After he left Dressrosa with Nami, Brook, Chopper, and Caesar, he not only managed to hatch a plan to drive away Big Mom's ship, he also saved the Minks and then got the Straw Hats away from Beige by sacrificing himself. I also think Sanji's dream of finding the All Blue is one of the more important in the series, but talking about that could be an entire video by itself. To sum things up, Sanji is him. Before getting to the top 2, I want to say thanks for watching if you've made it this far into the video, and it would be great if you consider leaving a like for the algorithm. Now let's get back to the list. Number 2 is the 1st 2nd Division Commander of the Whitebeard Pirates, Kozuki Odin. For the unaware, even though I think everybody knows this, Odin held the title of 2nd Commander before Ace, so he makes it onto this list. Obviously, Odin is one of the GOATs of the One Piece verse, having arguably the best flashback, being the cause of the entirety of Wano, giving us some of the best moments in the manga and especially in the anime, being one of the few people to reach Laugh Tale, being one of 3 people to have Conqueror's Haki and the voice of all things, and just being one of the greatest characters in the series overall. I happen to be rather critical of Wano, but I genuinely think Odin's flashback is one of the best parts not only of Wano, but in the entirety of One Piece itself. Odin is truly one of the most interesting characters Oda has ever created, and he is really what made Wano. The Ray KX official #1 Yonko commander of all time, decided by me of course, is none other than the first commander of the bigmom pirates, Charlotte Katakuri. I don't think words can describe just how much I love Katakuri. First of all, his design is top notch. He just looks menacing. Bro is 16 feet tall, sporting one of the edgiest fits, and just looks like the most no-nonsense dude on the planet. His powers on top of that are just amazing. When we first found out he can see into the future with his haki, I was genuinely stunned. His devil fruit is also just one of my favorites in the series, and how he uses it makes for some extremely entertaining choreography when he fights. Speaking of fights, Katakuri holds the #1 spot for my favorite fight in One Piece, Luffy vs Katakuri. This fight from start to finish is a masterpiece and really makes both Luffy and Mr. Mochi Man shine. Seeing Katakuri go from seeing Luffy as nothing but inferior to himself to respecting Luffy as an equal and a rival is just amazing. Katakuri is my favorite antagonist in One Piece, and again, as I said with both Smoothie and Cracker, I hope the bigmom pirates get out of the mud so I can see him again, hopefully acting as their captain. And we are back for another Ray KX outro. I'm making this video as an in-between while I'm still working on my Soul Eater series. I greatly underestimated how long that would actually take me, so it's probably going to be like another couple weeks at the least, but I'm still working on it. But yeah, I've been thinking about the commanders for a little bit and decided why not, and I also just wanted to slander King, so yeah. But recently, episode 1061 of the anime came out, and I gotta say, it's one of my favorite episodes, probably top 3. I mean, they really did Sanji justice, and I was like for a while in the anime, we were kind of worried, because for whatever reason, in the beginning of the raid, they would give Sanji still shots whenever he fought, which made me kind of worry about how his fights would be later, and especially involving Ifrit Jimbei. But they really delivered, and I couldn't really ask for anything better. I mean, like, there's a few things that they changed. I don't really mind them because in the end, Queen is still defeated in all of Onigashima. So yeah, that was an amazing episode. But if you like the video, leave a like, do whatever, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and I will see you guys in the next one.